Okay, class. This is a tutorial for you guys on WPA wireless cracking. I'm going to demonstrate for you how you go about exposing a vulnerability to WPA. So let me go ahead and make this full screen for you. And first of all, you see I've got 3 terminals set up. And one of them I'm going to be running most of the commands through here, and the other one I've got an AirPlay command that we're going to go ahead and try. And down here I've got the sort of the outline of notes we're going to follow on this. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is see if your wireless is recognized in this. In this case, I'm doing a VMware demonstration. I'm on a Windows 10 box using VMware with the Kali distribution. So I'll go ahead up here, go ahead and check my wireless connections and see what's recognized. Okay, so I see that I have a USB wireless adapter right now, and it's being referenced to as WLAN 0. So it does see that. It'll work just fine. There'll be no problems there. One of the commands that we're going to run here is called airmon. It's part of a suite of different commands, and you'll see those during this demonstration. But now the next thing I got to do is, okay, I have my WLAN 0 wireless adapter. Will the airmon program and the suite of programs in that recognize it and be able to use it to do different things? So as you see here, our next thing we're going to do is just check that with a airmon command. Okay, so that's airmon tac-ng, and that's all you're doing is just typing that in and hitting enter. And if it wouldn't recognize it, nothing would show up here. But indeed, in this case, my WLAN 0 is recognized, and it's okay to go ahead and use for some of these tools. Okay, now sometimes you've got things running in the background, the processes that could already be going, and you want to check that. So I'm just going to do this little command here, airmon tac-ng check, and there's no processes running. If there were some processes running, it would tell you, and then to stop that, you would just run the airmon check kill command, and it stops those processes, it kills those processes, and then you're ready to roll. But since we're okay with that, we can go ahead and move on to our next little step. And that is, we need to put the WLAN 0 interface in monitor mode. Alright, so you see right here, to do that, I'm going to do my airmon command again. tac-ng start, and then the name of my interface, WLAN 0, and go ahead and hit enter. Okay, so we see that it has indeed put it in the monitor mode, and now it's referring to it as not WLAN 0, but WLAN 0 mon, the mon for monitor mode. Okay, so that's sort of like the, as I have my outline here, the prep of this, getting everything set up, ready to go. So we finished that, and now a little discovery. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take that interface, and we're going to put it in use another part of the suites, tool suites of AirDump tac-ng WLAN 0 mon. Now this is just sort of again, we're going to be scanning the air. We're on wireless, and we're going to see what's out there. So if I go ahead and hit that, you can see that it's searching around. It's picking up different access points and or routers, wireless routers out there, and we see them going. Now in this particular case, just like we did with WEP, the one we're looking for, the access point we're looking for, is Honeypot. We see that right here. Okay, and it's using WPA TCAP, and there's our MAC address, and there's our channel. So 3 things that we want to find out in this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, now that I see it out there, I'm going to go ahead and stop this by my Control C. All right, Now we've got another command to look at here. And we'll go ahead and bring that up. I'll talk about this for a second. I'm going to rename that 5. Okay. We've got AeroDump, taxi 11, channel 11. It's on channel 11. There's Honeypot right there. We've got it on channel 11. TAC BSSID, of course that's right here. BSSID, the MAC address of the access point. In our case, we've got this one right here, and we've got it down here, and here in our command. And now what we're going to do is we're going to write to a file our results of what we're capturing from it. Now, unlike WEP, what we need here is what we call a handshake. When we go ahead and do that, as soon as we get a handshake, there's the key, and now we can take the key and run it with another program in the suite, and we'll get to that in just a second. Okay, so let me just go ahead and WLAN 0mon, and of course we're going to be using our a wireless adapter that's in monitor mode, wireless LAN, WLAN 0mon. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit this, and you see it's out there and it's running, and it's just concentrating on, in our case, the Honeypot access point, and nothing really much is happening right now, but the one thing we're looking for is a handshake. Okay, and to do that, we've got to see if anybody is connected with it, which there's one right there connected with it, and there has been a handshake. If you were having a tough time getting a handshake, and I'll run this command for you down here, the AirPlay command, that would cause, and you'll see this show up right here as soon as I hit this. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, we'll hit that, and right away you see that that's caused a handshake also, if that's in case you weren't getting any handshakes. But we see another machine is connected to it, so we've got a handshake, so we're in good shape now. So we can go ahead and Control-C to stop that process. And you see from our AirPlay command, I just wanted to just try a little authentication here, de-authenticate anything that was on there. If I wanted to, if somebody was already there connected to it, in this case the top one up here, and I wasn't getting a handshake from him on that, I can knock them off of it, and then so they'll have to authenticate back in. That's where you get the handshake, when someone does their little handshake and authenticates with it. This command right here could help with that. So again, we had the handshake up there because the machine turned on and this connection was made. Okay, now before we get to our next step, there's a couple of things I want to show you. With this kind of attack, we're working with some kind of a word list that we're going to use against this machine to try to narrow down the password that's used in it, passphrase. That'll give us the key so we can go ahead and be able to get into the device. So a couple of things I want to show you. First of all, that we have this word list called rocku.list. Okay, and this is in Kali. You see the path right here, user, share, word lists, and in word lists are various word lists, and one of them in there is called rocku.list. Now if I go ahead in here, so it's basically a text file except with a txt extension. It's LST. I'm going to go this in. I'm going to show you something. Now WC, that's word count. Now in this text file, it's one word per line. So this is going to go ahead and list in here the word count for how many words are in here on this word list file. Okay, now you can see that there are, as we look over here, 14,344,392 words in this word list. I want to say off the top of my head, it was 100 meg file, but which isn't, it's a decent size but not huge. Some of these can get 5 gigabytes, 10 gigabyte files when somebody has something and they want to just let it run for a while and try to get it. So there's a lot of different words in it. I'm going to show you that in just a second to demonstrate this. Variations of the word also that are in there, and you're going to see that. So let me run this. So this is a little Unix command, WC word count, that lets you know how many words are in a document. There's another command here. Now I'm going to tell you right now that in our particular case, the word elephant is the password that's in here, that's being used in this access point. If I wanted to see the variations in this particular case, what I'm doing is just familiarizing you with this word list. grep is a command that'll go in, look for the word elephant or some form thereof in this text file. Now I have to do the path because I'm not in that folder. If we were in that folder and I was running from terminal from that folder, I don't need this path, obviously. I can just put rocku.list. But we're going to go in there and look at this and see, okay, let's see how many variations of elephant are in there. I'm just curious. So I go ahead and run that and I see all these different, you see all these different variations of the word elephant in there with numbers, chunky elephant, pink elephant, exclamation mark, blah, blah. Obviously the word itself is there, elephant. So that gives you a little idea of what that's looking like. Now, if you wanted to really know in this how many different words there are of that, of elephant, now one, I could go ahead and create a file, and you see that right here with this command, grep elephant, the same thing, except I put this caret sign in. Let me just put this up here. You can see it a little bit better. Okay, so same as the command I just ran, grepping it. But now what I want to do is, instead of just showing me on the terminal, I want you to, and you see this greater than sign, that means I'm outputting it. I want to take what you just gave me here and output it to a text file. Of course, I gave it the name elephant.txt, and it did. So there's a text file that I have after running that I have in there with all these different ones in here. Okay, now we take that out, and for curiosity, let me just show you. Okay, we can go back to our WC command that we ran before, word count on that. So that'll tell me how many variations of elephant there are. Okay, we see right here 531. So there's 531 different variants of the word elephant in that. All right, so that was just showing you some things about a word list. We will do a later demonstration on a couple of programs in Kali that create word lists, but we'll get to that at another time. All right, so now we're ready for our aircrack tools. Now we did this AirPlay attack right here, where we would kick someone off and make them re-authenticate back on to give us a handshake. But since we've got that now, we can go ahead and run this command. Hold on. All right, just want to make sure what I named it, bookfuck 5. So I'm going to need to change my 3 to a 5. I could use the same one if I wanted to, but just so you know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and run this command against that file that I captured from the handshake using the aircrack tool. All right, let's see if we come up with that, and sure enough, that was pretty quick. So I don't know where elephant is in that file. I showed you that I think, what did we have, like 14 million words in there, and then it just starts out and goes through the whole thing. We found that pretty quick. You see key found is elephant, that it put right here. And now you know, obviously if you wanted to, you know the password. A person would know the password for that that wireless router or access point to get on. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, you know, how can we stop that? What can we do? Well, first of all, you in securing your facilities or your home, you want to go ahead and put something in with a long character. Okay. Try to get 15, 16 characters in if you want to. You see there's only, what, 8 here in elephant. And that's the minimum they want you to put for WPA, but you know the question is how many people do that. But for yourself in securing, make sure you get a long key. Obviously, it's even better not having actual words in it. Just a string of 15, 16 characters of letters, an uppercase, number is always good to have in there. So that's one big thing that you can do to fight against that, to secure your location. Now we just got a little cleanup to do in this case. Remember, our wireless adapter is still in monitor mode, which means if you want to go hop on the internet with it, you're not going to be able to do that. We need to get it back into its regular mode. So let's just run the IW config, and we see that indeed, yes, it's still in monitor mode. Okay, well, I want to take it off monitor mode now. I need to do other things with it. So that's our Airmon TAC-NG stop WLAN 0 mon, stop that interface from being in monitor mode, and I go ahead and hit that. Okay, and then I go ahead and check my IW config command again to make sure that it did that. And sure enough, I'm back to excuse me, WLAN 0, and I'm ready to go. All right, well, that concludes this demonstration. Like I said, we'll be talking about some word lists, creating the different word lists in our next video tutorial. Thank you.